What's up, everybody? All my healing angels, my beautiful souls. This Empress J checking in with another message. Okay, I told you they was flowing today, so here we go. Okay, I had like a journal class today. Cause if you've been around on my channel since I started this, then you already know that I've been going through recovery. Okay, I'm gonna call it healing and recovery, healing the things inside of me that have been broken and hurt for so many years that I didn't deal with, right? Like getting closer to your higher self, you have to start recovering those things about yourself that have been within because you have dealt with all the things that are without, like all of the things around you were more important than you dealing with yourself, your inner self, and sometimes like through like DV, domestic violence and sexual abuse, all the bad stuff, all the things that happen to us, even when we're just dealing with family members and or relationships in our life. Okay, sometimes we suppress who we really are. And it takes you going through some really harsh stuff in your life before you really start to realize that you have to start asking for help from your higher self and giving up power to the things around you that are not helping you within. Okay, now with that, with the journaling class, we talked about two things, and one thing I wanted to talk about was um, we did this cup exercise, right? And uh, the teacher who was teaching the class, she said, there was cups on the table. Pick a cup that you like, you know. So and they were like plain cups, different color cups, things, cups with like there were mugs with different like flowers and stuff. And I picked the solid blue one. This blue is my color. I'm a Pisces. I love the water, you know. So I picked the cup, and now she said, since you got your cup, now break it, shatter it into pieces. I'm like, shatter it? She's like, yeah, break it. However you want to do it, just break it. So we all, proceeded to break the cup. Now, she said a couple of things that stuck out to me and I want to talk about. First of all, she said, as we're picking up the pieces of these cups that we just broke, she said, don't worry about how many pieces it broke into. We will help you piece it back together. And it will come back. It's not going to be the same cup ever again because that was the past of the cup. The present of the cup is it's in pieces, and now we have to put it back together to make it usable so that we can refill that cup. I was like, oh, deep thought right away. And I said something to her. I was like, wait, so you want us to break this cup? As we're breaking this cup, I'm thinking about myself. And she's like, exactly. The cup is you, yourself. So if you think about it, right? You've been broken in pieces. You're probably in pieces right now, as am I. But now I also recognize the fact that my cup broke into two big pieces and then like 10 or 12 little tiny pieces, okay? Think about that. Those two pieces that are still kind of big represent to me the pieces of myself that I still have whole. Because when you're breaking the pieces, when you get broken through life and through different circumstances that hurt you, you're not all the way broken, okay? Know that. You're not all the way broken. But yes, you do have some pieces that are going to be missing. Another girl said, oh, I lost a piece to the cup. And the instructor was like, yes, that's okay. It's okay that you lost a piece to the cup. You ain't gonna have that piece there. It's gonna look a little different. You might have to sip it from the side. You understand what I'm saying? But we'll still put that cup together, okay? One of the other girls was just like, I don't know. She was really fixed on the fact that a piece was missing from her cup and it was never going to be drinkable again. It was not going to be usable. She said, how would you feel if I gave you a cup that looked like this that was broken? And I said, but when you put it back together, it's still going to be beautiful. It's going to be a beautiful disaster. It's going to still be beautiful. Think about that. Now, as you're picking up the pieces of your life, a piece or two may be missing. Like on the bottom, we like kind of put them together a little bit. And my instructor was like, yeah, her piece She got a piece on the bottom missing. You ain't. It's not gonna hold water. It's probably gonna leak. Think about that, right? As you're putting the pieces of you back together, pieces are not going to be there still. There's going to be some pieces that had to be lost along the way. Okay, when you put the cup back together, when you put you back together, it is not going to look the same way that it looked before, because that was the past and this is the present. Okay, and it looks how it looks now. Now, okay, when you're moving on in your life and you're going through new relationships, right? Love relationships mainly. If that person doesn't understand, right? You've been broken. Some pieces is missing. You understand what I'm saying? But you still a beautiful disaster. You still beautiful. No matter how many pieces you were broken into, you put them damn pieces back together and rebuilt yourself something new. Now maybe that cup can't be used no longer for juice or for coffee, but I can plant something in that cup and I can put a saucer under it. You understand what I'm saying? Your pieces may not go back together. Your cup in one, it's not going to look the same, but you can piece them back together in the way that suits you now. That suits who you are now. And think about what you want to put into that cup. What are we going to refill our cup with? Because now it's broken and it's empty. We putting it back together, and now we have to refill it with new things. The old things are no longer going to be allowed. We can't use it for the same things anymore. You get that? So like, I'm not going to be able to use my cup to drink out of, but I could use it as a planter. I could piece it back together. I could put a piece of styrofoam in the bottom so that when I pour water into it, when I'm pouring water into the plant, it won't leak. There are going to be things now as you're moving forward after you start piecing you back together, right? That no longer are you going to be able to do the same. And when you're moving forward with your love life and you're moving forward to meeting someone new, once you allow them to see the fact that you used to be something different, you're no longer that. And that's why those pieces don't fit no more. That's why there's a piece missing out of your cup, because when you put it together there were some pieces missing, but that cup is still beautiful. And anybody who doesn't recognize the beauty in you after you've put your pieces back together does not deserve you. They don't deserve to know you, and they don't deserve to be a part of who you are. So you remember that now as you're moving forward. After you put that cup back together, you're worthy still of love. You're still beautiful. I don't care how many pieces you've been broken into. I don't care how many pieces you lost along the way. I don't care how you put that cup back together. If the handle's up here now and it looks like an abstract form of art, it's still art and it's still beautiful. And you better remember that as you walking through this life and you putting you back together, you still beautiful. And anybody, I'm going to say it again, that does not recognize the beauty that you have become out of the darkness, you are still the light. It doesn't matter if your light shines in different ways that other people's do not. You're not going to be the person that you were before, and respect that about yourself and own that too. Do not be afraid moving forward. That's what I was thinking about the girl when she was so fixed on that piece that was missing. You are not going to be able to see, no one else can see the beauty in you if you don't see it. If you don't walk around exuding the strength and beauty that is a part of who you are, because only you know what you've had to deal with. Only you know what you've been through to get to this point. Only you know the struggles that you've had to overcome. Only you know your life. You can tell people as much as you want, but they don't know really, really, really what you've been through. Only you know that. You got to own that. Okay, you got to make sure that you don't ever lose just because a piece is missing. That's all right. We're going to add something else. We can even put a new piece in there, a different color, and make it really different. You know what I'm saying? You don't worry about the fact that you had to be broken to become this new beautiful piece of art. You're a beautiful disaster, if that's how you want to call it. You don't let nothing stop you from remembering where you've come from, looking back only enough to remember the fact that you've been through some things and you have overcome them. You've come out of the darkness into the light, and each one of us is a beautiful cup. In thousands, we had to be in 1,000 pieces sometimes. Sometimes we was in 2 whole pieces and like 10, 12 little tiny pieces, okay? But we still was in pieces. And remembering that on now every one of the cups that broke, the handle didn't break. None of the cups. The lady said in all the classes in all the years, none of the handles broke. And she said, why do you think that is? Because the handle is the strongest part of the cup. It's made with a stronger resolve. That is your soul. That is your spirit. That is the inner self that will not die. It is beaten down. It is put through hell. Okay, left in the darkness, left alone, put through the worst kind of things, but it's still strong. It still holds the cup. You get it? It holds the cup. Your inner self is always waiting on you to tap into it. Sometimes we beat it down by using other things. It's codependency. We get the codependent on the need that other people have of us, and we forget the need that we have for ourselves. Figuring out who we are after we've had to put all these pieces back together, okay, and remembering that you're still beautiful. I don't look like I used to look a year ago. I'm not that person anymore. After this last struggle, I changed. I'm someone different, and I'm putting back those pieces, okay? You see my little young man in the background. 11:11 on the clock. I'm putting those pieces back together, and they not gonna look the same as they did before because I'm a new cup now. Okay, I'm rearranged in a new way, and I'm gonna hold some new things. So some pieces may be gone, but we're gonna add some new stuff in there to make this cup just as beautiful, if not more beautiful than it was before. So don't you forget that about yourself. You may have been a mess. You have been put down in 1,000 pieces and broken, but you put yourself back together. Together, we will heal you. Okay, together we can definitely change things within you because all you need to do is look inside and you can pick up all them pieces. I promise you, together we can fix it. All right, so I love you. I hope you like the message. Thank you for being here. Like, share, subscribe. Thank you for all people that have been with me, my OGs, and thank you to my new ones too. I appreciate all of y'all. I love you, my beautiful souls and my healing angels, and I hope that this content definitely touched you. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate giving these messages, so I hope you appreciate the content. I love y'all all, and you'll have a beautiful evening. Later.